my name is Zoe. I'm the Tipsy Psychic, and today we're going to talk about human design. This is so exciting. I only got into human design this year, but I really want to share it with you because it's something that has really helped me and really changed my life. Like, really changed it. Especially if you like astrology like me, then you will definitely get something out of this video. Human design is actually a combination of I Ching and astrology and the chakras and the Kabbalah and a whole bunch of awesomeness. Before we do anything else, stop this video for a sec, go and get your free chart. I've posted the link below. You can get your free human design chart. Today we're going to be talking about the types in human design. Human design has really changed my life, especially learning what my type is. I'm actually not going to tell you what my type is, but I want you guys to guess. So in the comment section below, after this video is done, please let me know what you think it is. And in my next human design video, I will confirm whether you are right or wrong. I'll tell you. When you look at the top of the chart that you have, the body graph, it should say type. Right? And it could say reflector, projector, manifestor, generator, manifesting generator. Okay, so the first type I'm going to talk about is the manifestor. If you are a manifestor, if it says manifestor on your body graph, then that basically means that you are one of the 9% of the population. Some sources have said around 10%, but either way, you're not a lot. Which also means that other people have a hard time really fully understanding you because they are not you. Manifestors used to rule the world. I am not kidding. Manifestors were the dictators, the kings, the queens, the people who built the world, right? In a way. And basically, that's what a manifestor is designed to do. Manifestors are designed to initiate. They are the initiators. They are designed to take actions that impact others. Now, each of the types has their own type of aura, their own aura. Manifestors have a very powerful aura, very energetic aura. It is impenetrable. In fact, it is intimidating to a lot of people. When a manifestor walks into a room, you can feel their aura. Like it's that intense. Like when you walk into a room and there are a bunch of other people, they are being repelled by your aura almost. So on your body graph, there are different areas. Some of them are colored and some of them are blank. The ones that are filled in color are defined, and the ones that are blank are undefined. And I'm not going to really get into what that all means right now, but manifestors have a undefined, like a blank, sacral center, which means that they don't really have a sustainable energy. It kind of happens in bursts. Manifestors are very unpredictable. Chances are no one really knows what you're going to do next. But yeah, if you're a manifestor, you might forget to tell someone where you're going or what you're up to, and they're like, wait, what? Is that, where are you? What's going on? You know? And so they're often very misunderstood by people, most people, because most people aren't manifestors. As a manifestor, you are the only one who is designed to initiate and actually set things in motion, actually make things happen. Yes, everyone has their own little way of initiating, but manifestors are literally designed to do it. They're designed to start shit. The problem is you don't usually give people the heads up, so people can often misunderstand you or freak out, unless you were raised in a way to let people know what's up. Like if you grew up in a way that you were it was really drilled into you and you were conditioned to tell people, then it's a little easier. If you're a manifestor, you cannot be controlled. In fact, you probably fucking hate authority. You need freedom to say whatever you want, when you want to say it. You just like to do your own thing. Everyone else seems slow to you in a way. Like you're ahead of the time. Like you're way up to speed, way more up to speed than other people sometimes. Like, you're like just waiting for the rest of the world to catch up to you. And you hate having to slow down for them. You may not get why they don't act the way that makes complete sense to you. You're probably pretty impatient, but since you're so faster in a way, you can see the way things play out. To you might be common sense, but to other people, they kind of have to fuck up sometimes to learn. They have to take their own journey, and just like they don't really get you, you probably don't fully understand them. As a kid, it's likely that you came across as troubled, someone who was really out of control maybe, because you didn't really think about the consequences. You weren't designed to listen to your parents telling you what to do. You were designed to go do whatever the fuck you wanted. You don't really care about what other people think deep down. You did what you thought was okay, and maybe you just ran off to wherever, and your parents may have been really hard on you because they're like, what the fuck do we do with you? You are not usually a team player. Doesn't mean you don't like to be on teams sometimes, but it's really not your nature. It's not what you were designed for. You're not really a team. You work alone really well. You're usually very independent, maybe a lone wolf. You hate sacrificing anything for another person. People are always trying to control you and set rules, and you just can't stand following all the rules. You're not really an angry person, but you may start to feel angry when you are not living by your design. So when you're not just doing your own thing, when you're trying to do what other people want you to do, and you're trying to go by society and do what is expected of you, you might start to get a lot of anger. If you feel boxed in, if you feel restricted, you'll get angry. Your own boundaries are very important to you, and no one else can set them for you. Like, deep down, you just want to chill out and have a peaceful time. You do things your way. And following routines or practices by other people, especially people that are not manifestors, can drive you insane. People might feel like you're kind of a rebel, or maybe you lack compassion, maybe you're just a wild one. You have an unconventional way of doing things, let's face it. There are moments where you just get these creative, unique ideas. You are a force of nature, and you hate feeling like you have to do something just because it's like the norm, because society wants you to do it. There are even little things like just texting your friends back maybe, or having to be seduced by someone else, you know, when you're the initiator. You don't have that constant, sustainable, sacral energy, so you are definitely not going to be good with 9-to-5 jobs. You're not meant to just keep working, right? You're meant to start something and let the world finish it for you. Let the universe do its work. 9-to-5 jobs are not your forte. They hardly ever work for you. If you do keep up with them, then you will burn out, because burnout is a thing for you, manifestors. Burnout can be a huge issue if you ignore your human design. If you just try to act like everyone else because that's what you were raised to do, it's not gonna work. You're gonna not feel fulfilled. You're probably gonna feel angry. You are literally meant to change the world. You're meant to have an impact on the world. You must try to let people know more. You've got to keep them informed. It's difficult to explain, you know, and for people who are just getting into human design, they'll look everywhere and they're gonna be like, what does informed mean? It means you have to let them know, so that they don't get in the way. If you want to go do something, don't just walk off and go do it. You might meet resistance from the world around you, and you don't want that. You want to say, hey, I'm going off to do this thing, and then do it. You might not realize how much of an impact that little step will have on what you want to do. Consider how other people are being affected by what you're doing. That's super important because it just doesn't come naturally to you. You're not meant to wait and see. You're meant to keep going. So you want to let people know when you're charging through. Don't wait to respond. Just do it. 70% of people out there are generators, and generators need to wait. They don't initiate the way you do. Don't listen to generators. Stop doing what generators do and just go be yourself, go do what you need to do. Do not wait. You actually don't need help. Like, you can do it. You are designed to do it all on your own. Don't let anybody else take your power. Don't become a slave to anyone. If you're feeling burnt out and you start becoming a slave to society, don't do it. You are not meant to sit back and watch. I mean, yeah, if you do something great and you're creating this peaceful life, sure, sit back and watch it happen. But what I mean is, you're not meant to be passive and just work in a ditch your whole life, you know? You are designed to be on top of the world. You need to give people a heads up even if you don't care. You are afraid of being controlled, so you have to take the reins. And letting people know will help you. People don't get you, so naturally, they'll try to make you make sense, if that makes any sense. Remember, informing doesn't mean asking for permission. You don't need to ask for permission to get shit done. You just need to be like, this is what's happening, now get out of my way. You don't have to ask for forgiveness. Never apologize for being a manifestor, for just being your type. Because the only reason you would be doing that is because you were conditioned that way by other generators, by other people that aren't you, that don't understand you. You never have to apologize for being yourself. Now, other types like generators, projectors, manifesting generators, reflectors, they might be really jealous of your ability to initiate because you're the only one who really has that ability. Yeah, I mean, generators and projectors, they can do their own thing. Of course they can do stuff, but there is waiting involved. There is still a need to respond. But I'll get into that. You are truly the only one who can initiate. So everyone else, of course, they want your power. You are the only type that doesn't need anyone else to succeed. And nowadays in society, that's kind of scary to know that someone has that much power. And we all think we need other people to succeed and to get somewhere. But manifestors, you don't. You may have been limiting yourself up until now by waiting on other people and relying on other people. But why don't you just try doing it? Just try it. Stop relying on everyone. You don't need anyone else to be fulfilled. Relationships are very difficult for manifestors. You can't stand nagging, like you hate it, because you're your own person. You go off and you do your own thing. You don't like being told that you're wrong. And in a relationship, it's often the vibe that you give is, it's my way or the highway. Like, if the other person doesn't like it, then they shouldn't be with you, you know? Boredom is not really a thing for manifestors. It's a concept, but it's not something they usually feel very much. They don't actually really care if people don't understand them deep down, but maybe if you're a manifestor, maybe sometimes just to make others feel better, you might say that you really care, if that makes any sense. You might sort of pretend. It's not like you're lying, but it's like you've been conditioned to seem like something is wrong, right? Other people might think you're all over the place. They might think you're a roller coaster, you're just wild. You do inspire others, and you may feel like people or things are in the way, and you can feel the need to repel things, or maybe rush situations. Your whole life, you have been taught to keep it together, and it gets worse and worse as an adult. And so you may have a lot of suppressed anger. You must express yourself. You must start living your life, and really understanding your human design and how you were conditioned is so important, because when you do that, you fully understand how to live as your real self, as the self that you were designed to be in, as you embrace your manifestor self. Like, you can change the world. Some famous manifestors, to help you get an idea: Adolf Hitler, George W. Bush, Jack Nicholson, Johnny Depp, Frida Kahlo, Robert De Niro, Vladimir Putin, Saddam Hussein, Al Gore, Jerry Seinfeld, Ra Uru Hu, who is actually the founder of human design. The next type I'm going to talk about is generators. Now, generators make up most of the world's population. Remember that sacral center that I was talking to you about, how manifestors don't have a defined sacral center? Well, generators do. They have a defined sacral center, which means that that box that is their sacral center is colored in on their body graph. It gives them a constant, powerful energy charge. They are designed to wait, respond, and then go for it. They have this powerful momentum that just keeps them going, you know? They shine very brightly and they're like a battery that just never runs out. With all this energy, they need to figure out what to do with it and where they should put it to use instead of just like randomly powering through. They need to be patient and wait for opportunities to come to them instead of trying to start them. Because remember, manifestors are the starters. They are the initiators. I mean, anyone can like get something going, right? But manifestors, they create the going. Generators are meant to respond. They are meant to wait for something before they take action. If you're a generator, you need to stop beating yourself up if just saying that you want to start something isn't happening. That's normal. You're not designed that way. You need to attract the right thing and then respond to it. They may feel pressured by society to make things happen, but that's not what they're designed to do. They're taught to be successful. They need to start and be more in charge and take control. And at times it can feel like an uphill battle because they're not going about it in the way that they are wired to do. Generators are hard workers, and if you're a generator, it may feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. And often you end up being the support for your friends and your family and your coworkers, or you need support for those people. And I feel like for you, like a support system is everything. Whereas manifestors can walk the road alone with no issues whatsoever. You do need your support team. You need to listen to your gut response before making a move, before going for what you want. Now, most of us are just taught to ignore our responses. And most generators are just taught to power through work and work hard and not tune in at all to their gut response. And then they feel this pressure to start new things and take control, and that they'll be successful and feel fulfilled, and they have it all wrong. Generators need to stop focusing so much on the doing and focus more on how they are responding. Chances are most of you who are watching this are generators, just because statistic-wise, there are so many more generators. And that's very important for you, is to make sure that you're focusing on responding now. Focus less on what you're doing or how you're gonna do it. Focus more on the response, and then you're gonna use your authority to work with that. But we'll get into authorities another time. Listening to that gut response has been described as a very strong sensation, very powerful. It's a feeling that indicates whether or not you should go for something. I've seen it described as sounds or sounds. This usually happens when we are asking a generator a question, or presenting them with an opportunity, or even when they're just trying something and they can't decide. And this response to things is really what propels them forward and gives them the power to use that energy for whatever they want. The problem is when they're told that to be successful, they need to start doing things and starting things, and that their success is measured by their ability to initiate, when really the universe is speaking to them. And they have the power, the exact power to know exactly what to do if they just tune into their sacral center. Now, while manifestors are naturally in that universe, they don't have that sustainable energy that generators do. They may be there to make a strong impact and initiate things, but they don't have that ability to constantly work at it like a generator. Manifestors may be the ones to initiate things that the generators are able to make happen. When you are following your human design, you might find yourself feeling less and less tired out, and you can handle more and more. That's why you really need to follow your design. Generators can juggle a lot at once, and often in really different areas of their life. Other types in human design may ask, how do you do it all? You may not realize this, but other types may find your lifestyle unsustainable. You might think that this is the norm because so many other people might have this similar life, but not everyone can do what you do. A big challenge for generators is getting the mind out of the way. They need to learn how to distinguish their thoughts from their gut instincts. The problem is when they don't trust their gut instinct. Instead, they start getting in their head like, no, that doesn't make sense. Why is my gut telling me to do this? But this makes sense, and this makes sense, and this makes sense. That's not gonna help you get anywhere. Don't let your mind overpower your gut feeling, generator. And that's why you must trust that and never hesitate. When you have this reaction, even if it seems crazy, stop trying to converse with the logical side of things. If your sacral center is telling you something, listen. If they're not happy with their life right now, it's probably because they have been listening to their mind. And it's the way they've been conditioned by society and what they're taught and their morals. And in doing so, they attract all the wrong people into their life and they miss out on opportunities. They might get themselves into trouble and they might be in stressful situations. And so they have to be able to distinguish that gut feeling versus the mind. Generators run the world in their own way. They have such a powerful part to play in the universe because there are so many of them. They're like the batteries of the world, you know? They're the ones charging the world. They're keeping it going, even if that means working late nights or working mundane jobs at times. And other types are very envious of that energy that just keeps them going. And they can try to take that energy from them. What generators also need to keep in mind, once they have the momentum going, they need to keep going and endure. They have to see things through till the end. Even if they make decisions based on their mind, a big problem is that they have to see their decision play out. And that's why sometimes their life just doesn't go the way they want because they're trusting these commitments that they make with their mind, using their brains, right? They can't just get up and go once they've committed to something. They know very well that if they do, shit goes downhill because that's not how things are designed to be, right? That's not how they're designed to play out. So their commitments are very important and they have to come from a place of gut instinct. They can't just switch it. They have to wait for things to change. But if they're listening to that gut response, if they're listening to their sacral center and they go with that, then watch the universe unfold in an awesome, fantastic way. Because once you're on a roll, it's so difficult to stop. Generators, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That feeling when you're on a roll. You seem to have it more together, so people may expect more of you. And it can feel overwhelming. Sometimes it can feel like things just keep piling up. And you get to a point where you just can't anymore. You just can't. So generators, you must know your limits. In order for a generator to not feel lost, it's very important that they find themselves with people that are right for them. Like they have to surround themselves with people that will help them move forward. They respond instinctively around these people. All right, the next type I'm going to talk about, and I believe it's still a generator type, but there's a twist to these. Manifesting generators. So if your chart says manifesting generators on this, this is for you. Manifesting generators are a type of generator. So there are a lot of generators out there. They're divided into manifesting generators and generators. While regular generators have to see something through. Even if they don't like it, They have to see how it plays out, how it unravels. You, manifesting generator, don't have to go the extra mile if you don't want to, even if you committed to it. You still have that fierce, powerful energy from your sacral center, but you may not be as dedicated to things. And you're able to find an exit strategy. Now, you still have to wait for that gut response, okay? That's a big misconception. Manifestors are different from manifesting generators. Manifestors don't have to wait for that gut response. Manifesting generators are still generators, so they still have to wait. They have to listen to that feeling that they get about what works and what doesn't work. If you're a manifesting generator, you have to listen to it, but at the same time, if you've given it a shot, then you don't have to go through with it. But if you do go through with it, you go all in. You can take on many things. You can take on so many different activities at once, and you have that energy, that potential to keep things going. You're very powerful. You're always eager to try more things. It's pretty easy for me usually to spot a manifesting generator. You just see those people that are somehow working so hard all the time, but they have so many different projects going on. And it's like, where do you get all this energy from? How are you doing this? The problem is that while you have this natural eagerness and this versatility, you are still a generator. And manifesting generators, they love this ability that they have, this part of themselves, this manifesting part. And they forget that they still have to wait. You're still a generator, manifesting generators, and you don't have the ability that manifestors do to actually initiate and start things. And this can drive you crazy if you're not following your human design. It may feel like you have all these things going on, but you can't feel accomplished. You were taught by society that you must do this and that and start this to be successful, but you still have to wait for a response like generators. You still have to wait for that sound, that inner sound in your sacral center that says or or nah. You still have to be tuned into that. You may be manifesting so many awesome ideas, but you must wait for that opportunity. You must quiet your mind and accept that the universe may actually be your friend. You don't create out of thin air. Doesn't mean you don't create, doesn't mean you're not creative. You just don't create out of thin air. You still have to be patient. But when you do get that or nuh-uh, you are unstoppable. You have this ongoing restless energy. You really need to find a balance between being a generator and a manifestor. So you got to find this like middle ground with it so you can be content. If you're a manifesting generator, you might change your mind, but when you settle on something, you devote yourself to it. The next type we're going to talk about are the projectors. Projectors make up 20% of the population. So projectors are like the least understood. I mean, manifestors aren't understood, neither are reflectors, which we'll get into. But projectors are very different. In a world where we're taught that doing stuff and getting shit done and being super productive and like starting cool things and leading is awesome and is the right thing to do, well, guess what? For projectors, it's a little different. And unfortunately, they have to live with the rest of the world telling them that they need to work harder or they need to do more, when really that is not what they are designed to do at all. And this is 20% of the population, folks. Projectors are designed to lead. Apparently, they're supposed to somehow take over from the manifestors, but in their own way. They need to wait for an invitation. This is so important. While manifestors are supposed to start things to have an impact, Generators are supposed to carry out and respond and do their thing, but projectors are meant to wait until they are recognized, until the world sees them or until someone sees them, until they gain the right recognition, and they are supposed to either accept that invitation or not accept that invitation, depending on their authority, which we will get into in another video. A lot of projectors don't like to hear that. They're like, why are you telling me to wait? That's so sad. Yeah, in our society, it is kind of sad. I gotta tell you, because we see that as laziness. And a lot of projectors are seen as lazy people. They might be seen as procrastinators, but that's not because they are lazy. It's because they are designed to wait for an invitation. And if they start forcing themselves to act like generators or manifestors, which make up a lot of the world, then they are only going to burn out and they're only going to live a very shitty existence. Now, projectors are the only types that can penetrate into another person's aura. So remember, you have the manifestors, who are these strong, powerful, intimidating auras. And then you have the generators, which is like constant energy aura, right? But a projector's aura is not an energy type. They have this ability to just impact someone, even if it's just one person. If you are a projector, you could even make other people feel really comfortable. You could boost their aura energy if they're an energy type. But you have this ability to connect in a way that no other type can, which makes you great for guidance, like a lot of guidance counselors or people who are life coaches, therapists. Projectors make good guidance people. They give advice. They're really good at that because they are here to teach, to guide. And if you're a projector and you feel like you're not getting anywhere in life and you feel super unproductive, then that might not sound very useful right now. But just so you know, you are meant to do great things. You just have a very conditioned mind and you are one of the least understood. They are here to guide and lead. So many projectors, I advise them to become their work. They're meant to understand a skill or a system and make it their life. That's why you'll find a lot of projectors doing astrology work, because it becomes who they are. They become so good at it, and that becomes their work. They are so good at it. They're meant to understand a skill, learn it fully, and then share it with the world. They don't have that powerful, blinding energy aura. They get through to people in a way that the energy types just cannot. Society may think they're lazy or that they're not okay because they aren't wired the same way. And just like manifestors, they don't have defined sacral centers, which means that they don't have that buzzing, powerful energy that constantly sustains them. No, they also have to be very wary about where they put their energy, where they put their time. They don't do 9-to-5 jobs. They need breaks. And so if you're a projector and you're trying to hold a 9-to-5 job right now, you must feel so tired. Make sure you take lots of naps, lots of breaks if you can. I know some new companies are doing the nap thing, so. But yeah, it's probably going to destroy you if you stay in a 9-to-5 job and you're a projector. They are so easily conditioned by everyone. So for them, when they discover human design, it is usually very hard for them to decondition. Like, it's really hard for them to make any changes because they are so easily conditioned by the rest of the world. The whole life they've been told these things that they're supposed to be, and that's not what they are designed to do. So it's very hard for them to accept that that is their design, that they're supposed to wait for an invitation. Like, we live in a world where generators and manifestors have sort of defined what it means to be successful. To be happy, we need to start working on new projects, start doing things, keeping things going. Energy, energy, energy. So projectors try to start new things, but they get bitter because it's not working out for them. Or they try to wait and they're like, nobody sees me. I'm losing my life. How can I just sit around and wait? It just leaves them feeling like a failure sometimes. Or like life just isn't going their way. So they might start to feel a little bitter. They don't understand why all their coworkers are fine, how they can juggle so much and get all these things done or start their own business, and why they can't feel happy that way. So human design is very eye-opening for projectors, especially because it explains so much about them to themselves. They are always waiting for life to take off or for things to change. They need to be recognized. Projectors can be extremely successful leaders like President Obama, but they won't get anywhere without waiting to be recognized. Just to even go more into the leadership thing, think of George W. Bush. George W. Bush is a manifestor. And then you think of Obama. Obama is a projector. Now, projectors are supposed to sort of take over, so you can kind of see the transition between these two types of leaders, and you understand now why that dynamic happened, what kind of leader we're talking about, because we needed rulers, you know, and now we're going to really need the collective, if that makes any sense. And this has nothing to do with my political views. I just think it's a fantastic example. Projectors naturally observe the world around them. Others may not understand them, and that's okay. Projectors naturally connect with people, but it's usually one person at a time. Sometimes they can come across as desperate, but stop trying so hard. Because projector, the more you try, the worse it's going to be for you. I know that sounds backwards, but it's true. It's hard to just let go and stop. How can you just sit back, right? Well, you need to try. There is a lot of fear that comes up with the idea of stopping. It can feel like giving up on success. And society has this definition for success that may feel really challenging for a projector. But when a projector does step back, something magical happens. Suddenly, people come into their life and recognize them. Suddenly, opportunities are presented to them, and people are just drawn to them like magnets. If you're a projector, you naturally become a magnet, and you turn others into magnets. You connect others. Recognition doesn't mean attention. It's not, hey, look at me, pay attention to me. No, it's waiting to be recognized for the skill or whatever awesomeness you bring to the table. You may think someone is truly recognizing you for you, but they may not really be seeing you for you. And then things just fall apart. Invitations must be genuine. Now, an invitation can look like a literal piece of paper saying you're invited, or just someone asking you something, asking you a question. It is a sense of purpose. It may feel like an intuitive feeling. It is someone asking for your help. It is a feeling that somebody is calling to you. It has to be authentic though. You have to chill and enjoy life and not freak out while you wait. Once you surrender and you relax, only then can the awesome invitations come to you. Make sure you have a sacred space for you in your home. Actually, anyone who doesn't have a sacral center defined, so like anyone who's not a generator or a manifesting generator, it's really good to have your own space. It can be the corner of a room or a room itself. Just have somewhere you can go and get some you time while the universe does its magic. Work on creating a life that makes you feel ready to be invited. Like work on your health and your hobbies and get some sleep. Eat right, exercise, have fun and hang out with your friends. Read a book, read your favorite book, start a new book. Projectors can still do things while they are waiting for an invitation. Like it's not like you're just sitting there being a blob. They can go with the flow. Do things that are fun. It's just that when they get invited and they are recognized, they must act on it with whatever authority they have. So for example, if you have a splenic authority, you'll act on it with your spleen. If you have an emotional authority, you'll act on it that way. I'll get into it in another video on authorities, but in the meantime, you just chill. They can easily feel drained after they've been around a lot of people, especially generators with that energy, and may coast off of their energy. Trying to keep up with everyone is detrimental to a projector. Projectors can't try to fit in with everyone else. They just have to be themselves. Others may not understand them, and they might try to exert their ways onto them without realizing that projectors just aren't built that way. They definitely want to be recognized and appreciated for who they are and their talents, and that's very important. It can feel frustrating. The reflector is last. Now, the reflector is very rare. It's very rare that you would know a reflector. Reflector is like 1% or 2% of the population. It's crazy. You know you're a reflector because your whole chart has white. It's all undefined boxes and squares or whatever on your chart. Everything is completely blank. Reflectors are very rare, unique individuals. They all live their lives in very different ways. They're very influenced by those around them. They're natural chameleons. They must really set strong boundaries. They understand others and they connect with others. They may take on the traits of others. Often they're more eccentric people because they're forced to take their own path. They're highly misunderstood. They must learn to not let other people affect them so much, and they have to stay grounded. They are natural empaths. They're very sensitive beings. Reflectors are human mirrors, and often when you look at a reflector, you'll see your qualities in them. Like, they'll reflect it back to you. Others can't read you very well if you're a reflector. They just can't box you in. You must work on mirroring, not absorbing energy if you're a reflector. Often very calming people, like people feel very calm around you. It's important for a reflector to take a lot of time to recharge so that they're a blank slate again. So they naturally like to be alone, naturally hate crowds. They're so influenced by people, you know? They have these primal instincts at times. They must have their own sacred space to reflect and to recharge. They don't like to feel boxed in. And they're also a reflection of the environment that is around them. So they don't like to live in a messy space because that will reflect how they are in a way. Like, you can tell a lot about a reflector just by their living area or where they like to hang out. Being around people who are right for you if you're a reflector. You need people who have qualities that make you feel better. That's very important because of how influenced you are of people. You're very tied to the moon. The moon is always going through different cycles. Moods and sensations are often tied to the moon's placements, so you live in a very connected way to the lunar calendar. You're also a very vulnerable person. You'll find yourself just like acting differently with everyone, like you take on their chart. You have a very interesting perspective and you're able to put yourself in the shoes of others. Very pure soul. What is my type? I would love to find out what you think. Do you think I'm a manifestor? Do you think I'm a projector? Do you think I am a generator, a manifesting generator, or a reflector? I would love to hear from you. Please subscribe to my channel. I so look forward to hearing from you. I want you to tell me also, like, what is your type and whether you agree with it. Do you think that you're living the life you were designed to be? I would love to hear from you. I hope you guys are as excited about this as I am. Finding out mine really changed my life. Like, it really helped, So I love you guys. Bye-bye.